In the evening of March 13, 1997, a series of 5 lights were seen flying in a V formation over Phoenix, Arizona, and people seemed to think it was a UFO. Usually when UFO sightings are reported, it's only a few people reporting, but there was a reason why this sighting is so popular, because it was reported by thousands of citizens, which prompt conspiracies of certified UFOs and cover-ups by the government. Join us as we dive into what's most likely one of the most popular UFO sightings in history, the Phoenix Lights. Disclaimer, ding 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 ding. Our podcast is not for the faint of heart. If at any time you're feeling uncomfortable, please feel free to take a break or click off the video. We are also humans. We get things wrong when we're writing these episodes. All information has been taken from external sites, so if those sources are wrong, I apologize, and if anything needs to be corrected, please let us know in the comments below, or tweet us at the handle Case Conspiracy.
Oh.
Wow,
Is that the Doctor Who theme? I didn't even realize what I was from.
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who? Who Megalol? Doctor Who Megalol?
Oh my god.
Have you guys ever heard of the Phoenix Lights?
No.
No.
Well,
Bit of
it
aliens.
was a series of 5 lights that were seen flying in a V formation over Phoenix.
How many people seen them?
Whoa.
Thousands of citizens!
Oh, that's so many.
Oh,
Alright,
What's with this energy?
I don't know. I'm fucking tired. Welcome to Case of Conspiracy. I'm your host, Lachie.
I'm Emily.
I'm fucking fruit roll up.
Ah, free roll up Thorney. Hell yeah.
Hey.
Ding, ding, ding. We got a 5-star review.
Wait, what?
We got
Read
a
it to us.
5-star review on Apple
who?
Podcast.
Who gave us that?
What?
What the fuck?
This week's 5-star review comes from M. Cov, which I'm guessing is Bella.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh god, that's her mum. That's her mum's username. That's 100% her.
Nice.
What
Oh,
did the
that's
review say?
fucking great. So, Bella says, I love listening to people just info dump into their special interests for hours. It's also lovely that you can tell that these 3 hosts are real good friends outside of the podcast, based on their chaotic dynamic.
You know, it's actually a fun fact about us that we hate each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so sweet though. Thanks, Bella.
Thanks,
Thank
Bella.
you,
And
Bella.
we are good friends. We're fucking with you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the review. And if you want your review to be shouted out on the podcast, leave a review or comment on the YouTube channel, and you might be in the next episode.
Woo!
Hey.
So, neither of you know about these lights.
No.
Yeah, I've got no clue. I've never heard about it before.
Alright.
No.
I will give you a brief story of what happened. Between 7:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m., in the space of around 480 kilometers from the Nevada line through to Phoenix and to the edge of Tucson, lights of varying descriptions were seen by thousands of people. There were 2 events reported that night. There were a triangular formation of lights that passed across the state of Phoenix, as well as a series of stationary lights which were seen in the area of Phoenix. So, these reports came from all 7:30 until 11:30. So there was 3 hours of time that people were seeing these lights.
And were these people that knew each other, or they were independent reports?
Just independent reports,
Shit.
reporting them to either police or the Air Force, or we'll get into a bit of that later.
Yeah.
So the first event at 7:55 p.m. MST, Henderson, Nevada. The earliest sighting from a former pilot had reported that he saw something strange and described it as a V-shaped flying object in the sky, with 6 lights which moved from the northwest. In 2008, an in-depth report was made to the National UFO Reporting Center, which also goes by the name of New Force. The former pilot described it to be larger than any aircraft that they had ever seen. So this is basically like the size of multiple the plane carriers that are in the water.
Yeah, like aircraft carriers.
Aircraft carriers, that's it. Aircraft carriers in the water. Like, it would be multiple of them in the sky.
That's insane.
Basically, that's how large it was.
Far out.
The second event took place at 8:16 p.m. A retired police officer in Arizona had reported 5 lights that were headed south. Interestingly, when thousands of people reported their sightings, a lot of people saw 5 lights and others would see 6 lights. In both accounts, sightings suggest that something was holding these lights together, as they could not see stars behind them. So you would see like very starry night sky, and then between those lights you couldn't see anything, it was just black.
That'd be so cool to look at though, but also terrifying.
Yeah.
Media outlets, New Force, police, fire department, as well as Luke Air Force Base, which is a part of Area 51, started to get flooded with reports similar to those previously mentioned. As of 8:17 p.m, 1 minute after the last call, they had received their first wave of reports, which one person from Prescott told New Force, quote, "We observed 5 yellow-white lights in a V formation slowly moving from northwest across the sky to the northeast, then turn almost due south and continue until out of sight to the point of the V was in the direction of movement." So the V was like the front of the object, like the point of the V was the front of the object.
Right.
Yeah.
Around 8:20 p.m, a group of friends reported their sightings to New Force as a very large cluster of lights while parking their car. They watched the cluster of lights move over them. One of the group members had aviation experience and they claimed that they held out their fist in front of them, blocking the object in the sky. And the object was so large that they could still see it outside their fist, saying, "If there are any planes in the sky and you put your fist up, you will no longer be able to see the plane." Other witnesses then described the objects as large as a shopping mall flying overhead.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man. And this is an American shopping mall.
So
So it's like 2 times as large as ours.
Although, what year is this? Because it might have been before the mall boom.
This was in 97, so mall boom
Oh,
would have
97.
Yeah,
Shit.
this is 97. This is only like 30-ish years ago, 25.
This is 70 something. Fuck.
No.
Oh, shit.
97.
Far out. That's recent.
At 8:45 p.m, the lights were reported in Tucson, Arizona, which indicated the object was now moving southeast. Now, as we're talking about UFOs, we should probably move on to the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? That's a fucking
What?
great movie. Both 1 and 2.
Yeah?
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Okay.
fucking phenomenal.
Hang on. What?
I'm still yet to finish the game, though. I'm very excited to finish the game.
I haven't even played the game.
Yeah, man.
Where'd Guardians of the Galaxy come from?
Why are we talking about Guardians of the Galaxy?
So, you know Peter Quill's dad?
Yondu?
Like,
No.
Yeah.
No, Ego.
Ego, right.
Yeah. Played by Kurt Russell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a part of this story.
Excuse
What?
me?
Kurt Russell is a part of this story.
Oh, Kurt Russell. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh.
Yeah, Ego is a part of this story.
Okay. So it's Kurt Russell. It's got
Yeah.
nothing to actually do with Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, aliens, you know, kind of. It
I mean-
made sense, right?
The segue was attempted.
I was like trying to think so hard of like I was just like, where is this going? Guardians of the Galaxy? No.
It's
like,
a good attempt at a segue. I like it.
One of the reports came. One of the.
Sorry.
One of the reports that came from the man himself, Kurt Russell. He saw
Ew.
6 He saw 6 bright moving lights while he was flying a plane. He has a pilot license and was apparently flying with his son to see his girlfriend at the time. When he was approaching the airport, he looked over and said that he saw a uniform V shape of 6 bright lights. His son was the one that saw them first, and he asked Kurt what they were, and Kurt Russell said that he had no idea what the lights were, and then reported it to flight control.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
Kurt Russell. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, so he was flying a plane to take his son to his girlfriend?
I mean, he was just seeing his girlfriend at the time, but he must have just been taking his son with him.
Damn. Anyway, Kurt Russell, DILF.
Oh, absolute fucking dilf. Am I right, Bill?
He's 70-something.
Is it still called GILF at that point?
G-Dilf.
I have talked to Kat about this at an absurd degree. So we like to think GILF is specifically like grandma I'd like to fuck, and then grandpas or whatever. We like to say zaddy.
Zaddy?
Oh, I don't like that.
Zaddy.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I don't
it's
like
a thing
that.
was on. It was on Queer Eye as well.
Ah,
I don't like.
okay.
Like, what do you say? Because when you say like, what is
honestly,
GILF just like?
I would call it G filth.
G-Fuel.
It's called like G fuel.
Oh.
An extra kick,
Oh my
G filth.
God.
You know, grand filth, the grandfather filth. You know, the second set of reports. I'm just continuing. I can't. I gotta continue. The second set of reports, which were following the movement of the V-shaped lights, and were recorded around 10 p.m. These were reportedly, specifically in Phoenix, and unlike the first reports, this was an object hovering over the city. The lights are now static.
Oh.
There were more lights, upwards of 9, as witnesses had reported. The people underneath the lights had claimed that it stretched as wide as a mile wide, which is 1.6 kilometers for, you know, the metric system.
Yeah.
One Phoenix resident, which was a truck driver, had reported his experience to the news outlet USA Today, and had talked about his previous skepticism. He had said, quote,
"I'll never be the same before this. If anybody had ever told me they saw a UFO, I would have said yeah, and I believe in the tooth fairy. Now I got a whole new view on life. I may just be another dumb truck driver, but I've seen something that don't belong here."
Oh, yeah.
Is that better?
Well, was I? Yeah. Well, was I right or was I right?
That, honestly, you were fucking right.
Voice crack at the end is what made it.
Shit. So, the response to this from, you know, media as well as the public was kind of in a bit of shock, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's not really believable. There has to be some sort of explanation behind this, right? So, there was an article that came out in USA Today in June of 1997. That city officials had told the population they weren't able to assist as it was confidential matter of the Air Force. But when the Air Force was asked about it, they had claimed that the issue was a city issue and they had no involvement. Pretty weird. The Air Force...
responsibility. Sorry.
Yeah, no one wants to take responsibility whatsoever. The Air Force had reported that no planes had flown that night, but numerous witnesses had said otherwise. City Councilwoman Frances Barwood asked what they were going to do to investigate the lights. When she'd asked the other council members what the council was doing about the reports, she asked, are they going to do anything about it, and what are their plans that they've set in place? She was met by a whole bunch of people looking at her with blank stares. Later, the city manager had told her that she shouldn't have asked the question, and she was later made fun of by the government officials as well as the local newspaper cartoon.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, newspaper cartoons are fucking everywhere. They're always
true.
in
Oh, no,
newspapers.
I just mean the whole thing of like asking like a simple question of like, hey, this is really fucking weird. Thousands of people reported this. What are we gonna do to investigate it to, calm the public down? Or, find out if it's aliens or whatever. And everyone's just like laughing at you, essentially.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
Awful.
Exactly, because like if there is a reasoning behind it, I mean you've got to figure it out, pinpoint it, and let the public know. Or if it's a matter with a classified situation with the Air Force, then just tell them that it's an Air Force matter, it's classified. I mean, they did, but at the same time, Air Force had said that no, it's not our matter.
Yeah.
So who fucking knows? Later, she had received a bunch of witnesses telling her stories and other sightings from upwards of 700 other people, because she was someone that would actually hear them out and listen. The day after the event, the governor at the time, Fife Symington, had been dragged into this and held a press conference stating that he'd found who was responsible for these lights. Instead of someone who was actually responsible, Symington's aide, someone who works closely with the governor, showed up in a full-on alien costume and had joked about it to the citizens that were taking the matter way too serious, making light of the situation at hand. I do indeed have a picture of him in this alien suit. Here we go.
What
They
the
had a
fuck?
full-on- And like,
Jesus
how the
Christ.
fuck the next day? How?
This is basically just a joke that he made about the whole situation.
Yeah, but it's like the very next day you have a fucking alien costume on hand.
Oh my god. He had it prepared.
Exactly. Exactly. He knew those lights were gonna come up. Alright, let's get to the theories. The lights that people had seen that night may have just been flares. An anonymous person went on television to claim that they were the ones behind the Phoenix lights 2 days after the events. They said that they had tied flares to balloons and had released them 1 minute apart. They say explained the first event. In July of 1997, it was revealed that the National Guard had been doing a pilot training program called Operation Snowbird in Phoenix. Captain Eileen Bynes, on March 13th, found that the lights that the citizens saw were just an instance of the training using flares. Between 9:30 p.m. and 10 p.m., slow-falling flares were released over Phoenix near the Air Force Range, which people said explained the second event, which was the static lights staying in the air. But people saw this as a cover-up. The Air Force Base had stated that there were no planes in the air at all. You would think that an exercise that was happening over the base of the Air Force would, they would probably know about it.
Yeah, of course.
Like, they said that there was no planes flying, but later comes out that there was a training program over the base.
I mean, they could have been lying as well. Maybe they don't want people to know about them training.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why people said it was a cover-up.
I don't know why that'd be such a big deal to hide, but military.
Yeah, so do you think it was flares?
No.
No.
I don't.
Realistically not.
I'm sorry, the size of a football field flying overhead. No, not flares. No.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that they're staying pretty level with one another,
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
staying like
Actually, not flares.
that distance apart. I mean, even if you're sending them out one at a time each minute, the air would like fluctuate how high and how far apart each of them would go.
Yeah, and they wouldn't like travel cross country.
Yeah, no fucking way.
No fucking way it's flares.
Stupid.
Fucking bullshit.
Have you ever fucking seen a flare? Like, they don't do that.
Exactly. And have you seen a flare that has that fucking, we saw the pictures. Like,
Yeah, they don't
they
look like
do
that.
not look like flares.
Flares don't glow like that. That one looked like a full like orb that was just glowing.
Yeah.
Like, flares don't do that.
Theory
Oh.
number 2.
No. Yeah.
The accounts from witnesses stating that the lights had moved along the path indicate there was something moving in the sky. And while there were thousands that said they had seen it, led many people to believe that it was actually a UFO sighting. Which would explain... Exactly. Which would explain that the previous theory was just cover stories as the UFO moved in uniform. Air traffic controllers at Sky Harbor Airport claimed they could see the Phoenix lights with their eyes, but their radars would not show anything, signifying that it could either be a stealth craft or an alien craft.
Ooh.
In 2007, the ex-governor, Fife Symington, revealed to the world, so this is the guy that made the massive event, basically. His aide would come in as an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb alien joke.
So in 2007, the ex-governor Fife Symington revealed to the world that he also witnessed the Phoenix lights, despite making a big joke out of it. He'd attempted to get information from Luke Air Force Base, as well as the National Guard and other sources, but no one would give him any information whatsoever. In response to the lights being flares or aircraft, he had said, quote, "As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitely say that this aircraft did not resemble any man-made object I've seen before, and it was certainly not high-altitude flares because they don't fly in formation."
Yeah.
Maybe as the governor, he was trying to keep it quiet so the public wouldn't get riled up and scared.
In terms of that fucking governor, though, look, it makes sense because also, like, it was the 90s
Yeah.
in terms of, like, doing that sort of shit to try and calm people down. The amount of insensitive shit people do to try and make others feel better.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically
So that makes sense.
the only theories were flares or it was actually a UFO. I mean, it could have been a UFO that was man-made, but it could have also not been.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really think it was either. Like, I'm not on the side of aliens for this one. Purely because I just, I don't think aliens have been to Earth. Don't see it yet.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, and I'm 100% down. You know what? Prove me wrong in the comments.
Exactly.
Prove me wrong.
Please.
Prove us wrong. I'm sort of the person to have to actually see shit to believe shit. So I'm a little skeptical, but at the same time, it's good to, like, think that these things could happen.
Yeah, like, I'm not against aliens being a possibility at all, because I know for, like, I haven't seen any, obviously, but I don't doubt that we are the only living species in our universe.
Yeah. I mean, is
Like,
it scary
I'm
to be
not-
alone, or is it scary for something out there?
I don't know, because I think they would just be like us, but slightly different.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
fucking giraffes, you know?
Like, yeah, it could be anything.
Animals.
But I'm not arrogant enough to think that we are the only living, somewhat thriving species in our universe. But I don't think in this instance it was aliens.
Well, I feel like there's an
I think
obvious
it's something
theory
else.
here is, like, just a stealth aircraft.
Yeah.
Or a series of stealth aircrafts.
Yeah, well, because you get like that,
Yeah.
that fucking Nighthawk, what it is that the US has, that's the stealth plane that is like a V shape, and
It was
Yeah,
also
but
the 90s.
that's
and
that's a very time, like,
yeah, but if it was in formation, oh, I guess it was the
Yeah,
whole
of
block out
course.
of the stars thing.
yeah.
The size is what
I
kind
don't
of
know.
puts me off. Like, I'm not sure about this. Like, that's what confuses me.
I'm also thinking, it's the 90s. This is sort of when, like, the US government didn't really tell anybody shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they still don't
exactly.
now, but now they can't get away with it as much as they could
Because freedom of
in the
information and
90s
shit.
and back. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're actually putting a vehicle out there, why would you risk it in such a populated place?
Honestly, that is a bit insane that they're just flying it over the country.
Because
No idea.
you could put it, like, in the middle of the fucking desert and, like, maybe you'll get one or two people that fucking see it.
Yeah,
But
Nevada.
Maybe there was something they wanted to monitor in that area for like a second. I don't know.
I mean, it's just also like the 90s, like the height of X-Files and stuff like that. It could have been exaggerated. It could have been heavily dramatized by people that saw it.
The only thing that really gets me is that there were, actually videos and photos of it from multiple different accounts. And you can tell that it's like a decent height in the sky, even if it is shitty pictures.
Yeah.
And it's
there's
nothing that
something there.
it's nothing that you could doctor in like 97,
Alright. It's a weird one. I kind of also want an explanation because, like, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, exactly. Because we've had nothing since 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
So
Like, I don't think it's aliens, but I also don't have like any theory of what it could actually be.
the way I get to it is I think it would be a man-made object, but at the same time,
That size in the sky.
that size in the sky, as well as, so many people seeing it and filming it.
Yeah. Fuck.
Come
Sorry,
over, come
total
over,
sidetrack.
come over, look at this bitch. Look at
See
this. There's 240p
Oh, no.
settings.
Oh my god.
Are you guys both watching?
Yeah.
An Air Force veteran had never publicly acknowledged seeing it until now.
And I suspect that unless the Defense Department proves us otherwise, that it was probably some form of an alien spacecraft.
So why didn't he say anything then?
Holy
He
shit.
said because he didn't want people to panic.
And I think as a public figure, you have to be very careful about what you say, because people can have pretty emotional reactions. And I said my goal wasn't to try to stir the pot.
And he went to humorous and controversial lengths. Not
Yeah,
to
so
stir
he-
the pot. He held a news conference after the Phoenix lights to announce the mystery had been solved.
That was alien.
Now I'll ask Officer Stein and his colleagues.
Yeah, so he just didn't want to rile everyone
into
up.
the room so that we may all look upon the guilty party. Don't get him too close to me, please.
In the alien
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's
This just
it's
goes to
the
show
90s.
you
This
guys
is
are entirely too
sort of like the kind of humor that people went with
Yeah.
as well. Like,
since the governor was believed to have seen nothing. But now he's coming out.
The lights were really brilliant.
So is that a real video?
I mean, it was,
Yeah.
it was enormous.
The
'Cause
alien
that's a
suit.
good video. That's the video you should have shown us.
Yeah,
You know, in your gut, you could just tell it was otherworldly.
That's a good video.
yeah. So
It shows the size of it in that
Exact-
video.
yeah.
Oh. Thank you.
Do you want to do that again? Because I already hit stop recording.
I know you did. I know you did. It was like right as I said it, I was like, the motherfucker said he's done. That means he's stopped recording.
Say goodbye.
Yeah, we gotta say goodbye.
Thank you for listening. That was
Thank you.
that was the story of the Phoenix Lights.
Spooky space, man.
Yeah, man. Let us know in the comments. Are
Yeah.
Leave
aliens
a review.
real? Provide proof, please.
Does-
Yeah, solid proof. If
Um,
it's
Solid
not good
proof.
enough, then I'll send you to jail.
the
Yeah.
rumor come
I'll
out.
tell your mum.
Does aliens is real? Mm.
The rumor come out.
The rumor come out? Question mark. Does aliens is real?
But yeah, don't forget to leave us a review.
Yeah, we'll read it.
And we'll read it out.
Or a comment,
like-
and we'll read it. Thank you.
Fun.
Hell
Thanks
yeah.
again, Bella.
Yeah. Thank you for your wonderful comment, Belle.
MCOV,
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, MCOV, thank you.
Pog. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.